Not as tilted as his play will be. We'll find out as we jump in game.
Wait, I thought you would mean it the other way around. It was way more tilted than you'd want him to be. But this is a massive game, so let's hope for no tilt from either side right now. This decides whether we have a tiebreaker best of one for first place or not here in the EU LCS.
And we are going through the bans incredibly rapidly, Stress. GP, Thresh, Kalista targeted towards the Unicorns of Love. Corki, Lulu, LeBlanc taken away from G2. And an insta-lock Nidalee for Trick. It is his most played champion, and he's got fantastic success with it.
Yeah, I mean, oh, you want an early game jungler on Trick? Well, Nidalee will do that. Surprised it wasn't banned away, actually, by the Unicorns of Love. Loulex for the Unicorns kind of suffers from the same problems Loulex has always had. The same thing happened for him on H2K, where, you know, some games he's just invisible. And that is a massive problem against somebody like Trick, who is the complete opposite. He's in your face, telling you he's in your jungle right from minute one.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not Loulex can handle that pressure. He played Lucian yesterday. I want to keep an eye on how his jungle trends pan out. Got a couple of games under his belt already.
Man.
Ragas, Lucian, and the only others.
The Braum is available for Hybrid as well. The win rate for G2 when Hybrid's been playing Braum is insane here. I mean, you look at it, 8 games played, 7 wins, 1 loss. I don't say there's too much about one pick, but certainly Hybrid is absolutely comfortable on that champion. And into Sivir as well, you block the Boomerang Blade, you block the Ricochet.
It's his most played champion, it's his most successful champion, and it's something that G2 have used to their success a lot. It was the first ban yesterday when Splyce went toe-to-toe with G2. And you know, I think it must be said that Splyce put up a much better fight against G2 than maybe I was even anticipating. The game went 40-odd minutes long. But the Trundle pick is available and will be locked in for Kikis. That's no real surprise.
What is surprising, though, is that Hylissang now has the opportunity to steal the Braum away.
Yeah, well, it wasn't locked. Oh,
right,
wow.
Braum would fit fairly well in a comp with Sivir, with Lissandra. There's a lot of lockdown potential there, and you'd get to take it away from Hybrid, which does kind of tell you perhaps they are anticipating this. We know Hybrid has the Bard in his back pocket. He played it yesterday and looked pretty good on it. There's a lot of options available, but I like the way they've got Emperor, another comfort champion, on the list, the Lucian here as well.
I guess the other side of the coin is the fact that Alistair's available as well, so
yeah,
even if you take the Braum, you're not actually denying anything super hard. Leaving that support pick to last, Hylissang may want to pull something fun and exciting out. The Poppy into Trundle matchup is one we're expecting. I mean, technically Trundle could be a flex, but I don't think it will be going support.
Oh, I would be quite happy to see Perkz once more on the Azir. Ooh, okay, big change. It's the reason they didn't lock the Braum is because the Trundle is going support here. This is going to be support Trundle Rammus in the top lane for Kikis. It's fairly linear champion. We know Kikis succeeds the best on those kind of champions. Tanks seem to be his bread and butter now, and with the Azir off the table for Unicorns, they've not actually got too much that can deal with a late-game tank when it comes to, like, the Rammus. I mean, Sivir's not really going to do it. Lissandra's not really going to do it.
A second game this week that Perkz will be playing that Azir. We'll be locking in 9 games this week. Has not seen Nautilus. I do not believe it will be locked in now.
Well, if you were
I'm saying that because all of my predictions have been wrong.
If you were to pick the Nautilus right now, Rammus against Nautilus would be a fairly stale lane, especially now that Nautilus has less damage on his Riptide. So it would just be a farming lane, and ultimately the Rammus would... It kind of depends on who gets the initiation in the team fights if you get the home guard in, so they don't opt for the farm lane here. Also, Poppy is already locked in. We were not really likely to see Poppy in the support role. That would have been the craziest circumstance.
Would have been going back in time. A long, long time. 6 weeks if memory serves correct.
Yeah.
Regardless, it will be the Janna. So a lot of mobility, a lot of speed on the side of Unicorns of Love. The Sivir, the Janna, dashes and dives.
But the Janna doesn't synergize all that well with the Sivir specifically when you look at Sivir wanting to go in. Janna obviously now will allow them an option to get rid of the Rammus very quickly. Likewise, the Nidalee as well can get blasted back, but you look at the likes of G2, they've got a lot of dashes, follow-ups, that kind of thing. Trundle Pillar can lock people, or at least nudge them aside. So this could be a pretty interesting game here. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm interested to see how well Unicorns can perform against the current #1 team in the league. G2 Esports, if they win here, they will hold sole control of first place in their rookie split. A team that nobody's really screaming from the banisters about being the best in Europe. They've just quietly crept their way up and stayed there for 9 consistent weeks.
9 consistent weeks. There's a few more before the end of the split over in Rotterdam. But if they can lock this down, this would be a big boost, locking first place, as that would mean they'd avoid both H2K and Vitality until the finals.
Preferential seeding, hashtag G2 win or hashtag UOL win. If the Unicorns cause the upset, we're in for one more game. But we're a long way away from finding out if that truth will become a reality. Fans are in favor of UOL.
Well, there's another team that'll be in favor of the Unicorns right now, and that'll be H2K. Likely sat backstage around a monitor.
I certainly hope
the
so.
result of this, I would hope they're watching.
Because if a tiebreaker happens and they're anywhere else, there's going to be problems.
But they are hoping that they'll get an extra shot here at first place. Obviously, they took a win earlier today, but after yesterday's turn of events, they'll be watching with bated breath here, looking for that tie.
G2 did avoid opposite day, along with Origin yesterday. One of my favorite comments on Reddit was the team chat, G2 saying, why don't we all lose today? And then H2K and Fnatic and
Minions have spawned.
UOL all jumping in there saying, yeah, we agree. I think lol joke, because they were the last game of the day. It was quite well written. Today, Sivir, Stellback, running Fervor of Battle, as opposed to Warlords, as we saw in the previous game.
And again, it's going to give them more damage. You think of how the damage from Fervor applies, and the extra damage you get on Sivir in the late game. Well, there's the spot on the Trundle and the Lucian. You can see they actually double back straight away. The ward, I believe, yeah, even spotted them going back.
Yep.
So they have the full knowledge of where G2 are right now.
So nothing untoward happening this early in the game. Australia lanes have been set up. It will be the Poppy into Rammus. Matchup down bottom. And Sivir Janna into Lucian Trundle. I think Hylissang will have a little bit of wiggle room, thanks to the fact that he's got that very long range, got that Eye of the Storm, some preferential trading, especially with the wave push power that Sivir can offer, if needed.
Yep. Bust out the Vegemite for this one, boys, because the push is already on in the Australia lane's top side. Unicorn Stellback, obviously with that ricochet, is just able to take down so many of those minions faster. Speaking of takedowns, Perkz has been started from Trick on the bottom side. So this is going to be a fairly patient start, but with level 2 being hit, Sivir Janna, not the most impending level 2 that there really is in the game. No. It's kind of like, well, we're going to push you, and that's about it.
Yeah. We have some defensive options. Kikis going to be fending off the very early push from Chachi's Poppy, which is not a big surprise.
But the one thing that the push will allow here, and you look at the middle lane as well, Fox should be able to push Perkz out a little bit at least early on. The Azir soldiers will do work, but it does cost him a fair amount of mana. Fox is chunking through his as well. So what this will mean is with topside pushing towards G2, Trick suddenly loses half of the enemy jungle's presence here. He can never realistically go in and challenge Loulex on the red side for the Unicorns, so realistically, Emperor and Hybrid may look to bring Trick top, but honestly, we don't see too many ganks on the 2v2s anymore.
Not too many. Spell Shield, Howling Gale, there's tools for Hilly, Stellback to deal with it. There's the Eye of the Storm blocking at least some of the damage of that Piercing Light. Hybrid's running Ignite for his Summoner spell, and G2 are playing into a double teleport setup, with Chachi and Fox wanting to play the map. Here is G2 Trick's stats on Nidalee, all split long. Kill participation on par with the league average, but kill share significantly higher.
Takes a lot of them kills, but it's okay, because normally when Trick gets those kills, it's, oh, Trick's going to carry this game. So even though we talked about how the push was going to be in favor of Unicorns, they've actually let it pull back towards them. That has allowed Trick to go into the jungle, but you can see G2 were moving there first with them. So 3 people deep invade. They get traps down on that Raptors bush. They get a ward down on the Krogs as well. So If Loulex were going there anytime soon, he would get spotted. Unfortunately, all of the camps were cleared out topside. That means he's not up there.
No, not this time around. A process of elimination. I want to keep my eyes on Hybrid, and as he plays this game out, knowing that Braum was available and he opted not into it.
Yeah.
Kikis is going low, though.
I mean, Kikis has to be aware that this is a possibility. They've got the vision topside. They knew the camps weren't available, which means Loulex is likely to be bottom side, and Trick knows it as well. The ping went down onto Vizicsacsi. It looks like they were actually looking for the gank. This is better timing for Loulex here. Spear lands, though.
Going straight in! The taunt pulled Chachi back into the javelin toss. Trick hops in Cougar form. There are teleports available, remember, and the first one is being channeled. Loulex is in trouble. He's going low. Chachi drops a hammer down and picks up first blood.
That was a rough trade from Trick. He looked like he swiped earlier than he was anticipating. Actually just missed the damage, I believe. Trick then jumps in and looks to follow up for the kill. Win may not be done bottom lane here. Look at Chachi. He's calling Loulex back down to the bottom lane.
Oh, Kikis gets pinned against the wall. I'm not sure you wanted to be there. Powerball is not going to be enough to save your life. And Loulex gets 2 kills.
So initially on that trade, you would think, why didn't Poppy block Nidalee from jumping in? Well, the taunt was the difference maker. Couldn't activate the W for that steadfast presence. Top lane is a trade.
Oh, hold that thought. Now Hybrid, he chomps down onto Stellback. Exhaust comes down from Hilly. And G2 are able to get 1 summoner down for none.
Yeah, that exhaust is going to perhaps prove critical here, though, for Emperor. They still have the ignite on Hybrid if they can re-engage again before Stellback is forced to back away, but that's fairly unlikely right now without Unicorns misplaying this. Loulex looks like he's heading topside to try and bait a fight out. Loulex is level 5, not quite having access to that kick. Trick's up here as well.
Loulex is going to be late. Trick's got the passive
Loulex
movement speed. Javelin toss not needed just yet. Howling Gale will slow down Hybrid. There's a teleport from Chachi. This is now a 4-on-3. Hybrid dashes forward, flashes away. The verdict is not issued.
Just kidding.
Oh, I was waiting for that.
Wow.
It's such a tease.
It is, but it's so much better for Chachi not to use it.
Yep, definitely the case. Gets most of that cooldown back. And Unicorns of Love, 2 quick kills. Pressure in the top lane, and most likely the first tower of the game.
Well, H2K will be sitting happy right now watching this one, but honestly, this is better out of the Unicorns on that bottom side, and a lot of it was just Trick. Looked like a mechanical error from Trick. There's something we didn't quite catch on that, but certainly Unicorns will punish that. We spoke about how well Trick normally plays on this Nidalee. Loulex coming up fairly big early on this Lee Sin.
And something that Unicorns of Love are going to need to continue to snowball, continue to play in their favor. They beat H2K by punishing mistakes. Now UOL are going to be in the lead. Let's see how they play with that advantage. Chachi will finally take that tower down. It will be equalized by Kikis not long thereafter. And Hilly's actually one that was able to collect Doom's Eve.
Gotta get that Janna push going, man. Gotta get it.
I like it. I like it on range champions,
I'm
especially when they're moving.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see how the effect pans out.
Yeah, what matters is how they stack up a lane, how they get those minions onto a tower, and you can see Hilly going to meet Stellback, going to start building up some minions. Thank you, observers, for highlighting the exact move.
Yeah.
As Chachi, takes a traffic cone to the face.
Thing is, I'm not super big on Hilly actually staying with Stellback here, because you want to get wards out on the map. Same with, you kind of want to be roaming with Loulex a little bit top lane. Chachi clears out the minions. They're going to be coming back. The sequel's coming up. But it's just going to be a tower for them.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. Minions will just come back into lane. Not low enough to do anything but slow things down. Hilly and Stellback, though, will get a decent push. Minion wave is coming in. It looks like that wave that was knocked away by the verdict has died out. So it's going to be just another tower trade here, Straight.
Yeah, it's going to be a tower trade, but look at the difference now on the actual vision that comes out from that. They have no real way of spotting that Kikis was looking to come bottom side here. They haven't actually gained any kind of vision control yet from this play from Hylissang. So now Hilly should roam into the enemy jungle, take control of the bottom side, get deep wards down with Loulex, but that doesn't really seem to be happening. So what this isn't going to let them do is punish anybody that tries to freeze on the bottom side. Because yes, it got shoved into the tower right now. I need to double check how many minions are there for hybrid. Sorry. I see a Trundle and I'm like, that's going to be top lane.
Yeah.
Support. So it's actually going to be Emperor that's going down there to collect the wave. He should just about be able to hold that in place. In fact, I think it's slow pushing away from them because of the bounce. So it's a little unfortunate. They didn't get any control bottom side is the key takeaway.
All right, so Unicorns of Love, 1,000 gold up, almost. It's actually close to 800. 10 minutes into the game, 2 kills up. The tower trades top and bottom lane have taken place, and Kikis just looking for farm. He was hovering in the mid lane, helping out Perkz. Then his recall picked up the makings of that Sunfire cape and is now waddling his way into G2's jungle. Losing patience. That Golem, Blue Sentinel, has had enough of the jungle interference. Will get taken down as Perkz now slides into lane to defend, working his way towards the Nash's Tooth. And G2 playing from behind, playing patient. They're not giving up too much. They've got pretty good wave clear in Azir and Lucian, especially for these early stages of the game. If they ever get pressured in.
If yeah, that's the case. And, you know, I said in Champion Select, I'm fairly happy to see Perkz on Azir. We've seen this now, the second game this week from him. And the reason I say that is because I got the great pleasure of casting Perkz for a whole Challenger split when he was playing, like, basically Azir and Jace. And this guy is pretty damn good on those two champions. He's shown us he's good on a lot more than that, which was our biggest question coming in, was like, this guy can carry on Azir and Jace, but can he carry on more? Thankfully, he's shown us the extra. Now we get to see a little bit more of his bread and butter from Challenger, and I really enjoy watching his Azir play. He's always looking for angles to assassinate.
And Perkz will find them. He's got a lot of tools available. This is the most compelling Rift Scuttle kill.
I also didn't realize how close the model for Rift Scuttler and Rammus are. If they just kind of were next to each other, walking, you could
next skin
easily confuse them, yeah.
Rift Scuttler Rammus. Emperor with a very early flash is threat from Loulex. Pinkward will spot him out. Teleport comes down for Kikis. Early cancel on the culling. Kikis has flash available. Loulex boots Hybrid and Trick backwards with the Dragon's Rage. Subjugate comes down. Loulex below 110 hit points. Continues to run for his life. Trick is looking for the pounce. Flash! Auto! Picks up the kill.
Oh, it was just a matter of time. There are a couple of flashes used, though. Now mid lane tower did fall. That was Stellback picking that one up, utilizing the Sivir. And that's, I mean, overall, it's a gain for the Unicorns. When you look at the actual holistic view of this, it's 1 kill in exchange for the tower. Plus
the teleport from Kikis, plus the flash from Trick, Hybrid, and Emperor. So net gain in terms of resources, heavily in favor of Unicorns.
And what this will allow Unicorns to do, or should be the next step, is to get those deeper wards. They've been fairly reluctant to do it. Only 1 or 2 spattered around the jungle right now. They should be able to just go, okay, you've got no outer towers left. We're going in your jungle. It now belongs to us.
And I think all things considered, this has been a very good early game for Unicorns of Love. Not only have they got the lead in every single metric except Dragon, Loulex is currently down 20 CS, but he is only 20 gold behind thanks to the kill, thanks to the assist. He's had some early game impact. He's been able to get Chachi to a comfortable position. And Unicorns are now setting themselves up for deeper vision to put pressure on those inner turrets with all outers down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at coming into this week for the Unicorns, to think that a team we were looking at to potentially be in that 6th place spot, to come around, get the win against HK, and now be looking at getting the win against G2 potentially. Here comes the Sivir ult. Now they want to engage. Here comes Chachi.
Chachi's teleported. Fox is joining as well. That's the double TPs. Perkz is already down. He didn't even get to flash or cleanse. It's a double kill for Unicorns of Love as they drop Trick immediately thereafter. The pressure's not done as they're onto the inner turret.
Yeah, they're looking for a second turret from this. You can see Unicorns, cheerleaders, everything in the audience being thrown. The energy is being given over, and the Unicorns seem to be feeding off it.
Kikis has taunted up Hylissang. Defensive flash into Monsoon just to survive. He's already used his summoners. Unicorns don't get any more global objectives from that one, but they'll be very happy with the kills, very happy with the pressure. That's a team effort here from UOL. 1 kill across the board for everyone except Hilly.
So this was the beginning of the fight. As you said, Perkz dies incredibly early on Didn't get hit by the Janna Tornado, but here came Chachi into the back of the fight, gets himself onto Perkz, and there's no way Perkz can get out of that. Still had his cleanse, still had his flash, did not have his life by the end of it. Chachi just picked up Doom's Eve. Is going to be able to, you know, get himself into a lane, keep pushing on with that. The Unicorns right now, they will lose their mid tower, get it replaced by the Eye from Azir, although it is the regular Azir.
Sun Disc, yep. Not the Undead Disc that we saw so much yesterday.
I love that,
fortunately.
by the way.
As do I. G2, I think, a lot of credit.
Ooh.
Flash and cleanse this time for Perkz. He makes it out alive. Emperor's Divide will be up in just a few seconds, so both teams have options available. I think it's so crucial for G2 that they've secured those outer turrets. Because, yes, they are still 2,000 gold down, but it is 50 minutes in. They've got some wave clear to buy time for another 5-10 minutes if they don't give up more gold.
Not only that, but look at the wards on the bottom side in favor of G2. They've got a teleport coming up from Kikis, and if you can utilize, you know, a teleport play, doesn't have access to home guard available just yet, but still, it's going to be a teleport Rammus play in from behind. Could easily turn this game around. This game is not so far that one big fight for G2 wouldn't turn it.
Yeah, it's just going to be really important that G2 deal with whoever is taunted, deal with whoever is locked down. Buy some time with that Trundle pillar, buy some time with Emperor's Divide. Once we get into those bigger bouts. As Kikis is just going to carry on farming out the lane. He's down 15 odd CS.
Yep.
Down 1,000 gold, in fact. So 1,000 of that lead that Unicorns have earned is actually in Vizicsacsi's pockets versus Kikis. And you can see Chachi and Kikis, they're meeting up in that top lane.
Kill, 2 assists, Rift Herald.
It all adds up.
Yeah, never never underestimate Rift Herald. Gives 50 each to everybody, so slowly ticks up. There's, you know, extra gold.
Hey, that's the name of the game.
Yep.
Get those items quicker. Buy some wards, 4 of them in the UOL inventory. Kikis has flash available and is powerballing in. Very good Howling Gale and instant boot back.
I'm not sure they needed the kick, but it looked fancy.
Which was the Pokemon? Was it Hitmonchan, the boxing one? And Hitmonlee, the kicking one?
was the kicking one.
Okay, because that little moment is like, no, you're Hitmonchan, not Hitmonlee. You've got it wrong.
He just Thunder Punches it out. But then you realize that Thunder Punch doesn't work on Sandshrew, so...
bummer.
He had to be Hitmonlee.
All right.
Had to be like low kick.
Tremors is down. Kikis, with the help of a tower, is able to chunk Vizicsacsi down to 50%. And what are you expecting to break open this somewhat of a laning phase? I mean, a flash engage, so Emperor's down.
He's gone.
Let's pretend that didn't happen.
I mean,
what are the teams looking for here? Because Chachi and UOL seem to be pretty invested in this 1-3-1 almost.
well, I mean, right now, any kind of opportunity that they can get the likes of Fox, the likes of Loulex or Stellback onto a single member, they should be okay. Problem is, here comes the answer from G2. Trick on the top side.
Chachi's
Easy to dodge the spear, though.
Yep, sidesteps the javelin toss. Trick actually pounces out of the way of the hammer down. Hybrid is pinned against the wall. Chachi flashes insta-reply from Kikis into the puncturing taunt. And the javelins and autos and fangs and claws. Trick picks up a kill. 3 members of G2 to take him down.
In the end of all things, it is Kikis saying, "You're too slow." At that point, gets the knockback, and there's no way Chachi can get himself out of that one. Now G2. Emperor's going to absorb the bottom lane. This is what he was looking for earlier. Couldn't keep himself alive the last time he wanted farm. This time he's got a tower there. It's going to cost them for a dragon here, though. This is going to go over to the Unicorns.
And of course, the flash being down makes it even more of a target. Trick, javelin toss. No, a little late. Good smite timing there from Loulex. And, you know, going back to that 1-3-1 point, double teleports on the side of UOL. They've got matchups that are doing very well. Fox is ahead, Chachi's ahead.
Oops.
They're using that to their advantage. Sonic Wave connected, it's interrupted as Loulex gets pinned back from the Emperor's Divide, and Perkz is down. Hylissang gets a full channel on the Monsoon. That keeps Stellback alive. The Sun Disc is up, but it simply does not matter. Unicors of Love find 2 kills and stamp their authority on the game.
Oh man, maybe it's time to start shipping a Stellback and Hylissang bromance, because they just defended each other to the death there. Stellback actually stepped into the spear that was going to hit Hylissang that would have resulted in him dying. Stellback is going ham into this fight. He's like, I don't care about your sun disk. We've invented clocks now. We don't need sundials anymore. And watch for this. Stellback steps into the spear. Doesn't even spell shield. Doesn't have it available, but keeps himself alive. At this point, Hylissang shields Stellback, keeps him alive. Easy kind of back and forth there from G2 to, well, Unicorns to take down G2.
And so important, as we're getting closer to 20 minutes, Kikis has no teleport available as he does get access to home guards. The weight of an impending potential tiebreaker has to be now weighing on the minds of G2. If they lose this game, they will have to face H2K to determine first and second seed. And that has to begin impacting. You'd like to think you could just push it out of your mind. Like to think you could just zone it away. But it's there. It's on the edge. As G2 secure a blue buff, stealing that one away from UOL. As the Unicorns are now grouping themselves up to siege this inner turret in the mid lane.
I mean, right now, though, you can't overlook the task that's in front of you. You have to deal with the Unicorns here. You cannot just simply say, well, okay, now we've got to start thinking about another game, because this one isn't lost yet for G2.
Yeah.
Unicorns are in a very good position with how they're engaging fights, with how they're getting themselves into these small skirmishes. But, you know, if Perkz gets a fight in a corridor where he can just damage multiple people, one good Azir ultimate, that kind of thing can turn the game. But G2, that window is starting to become really only Perkz.
And I think it's also important to note that at some point, nobody's going to be able to kill Kikis.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how is Sivir going to do it against a Thornmail, Ninja Tabby, Sunfire Cape?
I don't know. I don't know, Trev. That's a big ask.
So, that buys some time for G2. The only condition is they need Perkz to get some DPS down. They need Emperor to be somewhat relevant. And actually, G2 have been caught out. You know, UOL have been very aggressive in their posturing, very eager, and they've pulled off multiple fights, which is why they're 7-2 up in kills.
The biggest thing for the Unicorns, though, as this game, you know, rolls on and Kikis becomes a little bit more tanky, Hybrid is going to be a little bit tankier himself. I mean, for the Unicorns, they don't have a primary engage. Their engage is going to come from a Lee Sin kick, an insect play. Here comes the engage tool from Kikis, though.
Oh, Kikis, instant monsoon! Hylissang stays alive. There was no flash available for Kikis to potentially answer, so TP is blown. Nothing is secured for it. However, G2 are committing to this siege. They've grouped up as 5, and they've got a minion wave moving in with them.
Yeah, so even though they didn't get the kills from that play, they get the flash, they get the disengage tool here. Now, will Unicorns look to turn? Look at Loulex, poised at the side, looking for the engage.
Definitely looking. Trick is going to pounce away to safety as the Sand Soldiers are sent forward by Perkz. Culling has already been used, as is the Sundial. The time is fight, is what G2 are saying. And Loulex is looking for a target, looking for an opportunity. Rammus is not your man.
This is what happens when you're using a sundial, is you think the time is fight. Fight's not a time, Trev.
Yeah, but that's what it says. That's what G2 are looking for. Javelin toss finds Hylissang, but nobody follows it up, and the minion wave is cleared out so quickly by Sivir. Essence Reaver and Static Shiv. You're going to need to poke Stellback down before G2 can commit. Sundial still remaining. A little bit of time left, and G2 finally decide nothing more can be gained, and they back away.
I love it how you're calling it a sundial. I'm starting to question, well, your parents are in house. I can ask them if they taught you how to tell the time, Trev, because it seems like you're struggling with it.
I just wear this watch for fun.
It is. It's just digital.
That's the one on my right arm.
2 watches and you don't know how to tell the time on either. That's impressive, Trev.
They are numbers. It looks like a KDA. Kikis is not really the man that Loulex is going to be able to kill. Loulex got that warrior enchant and a little bit of thrift shop. Wow, defensive flash. Emperor's afraid of Hylissang. Well, he's afraid of what could have been behind Hylissang, I think is the more likely reason.
Well, we've seen him flash preemptively a couple of times, normally against Fox, because he doesn't just want to get ulted. Unfortunately, that's not going to be available for him for the next couple of minutes, but, you know, Unicorns have lost a lot of the ground that they had in this game. That play that Kikis made, even though it didn't result in anything, for the last 2 minutes or so, has pushed Unicorns all the way back. all the way right back into middle lane. And a lot of it has been the Azir tower that's there. Obviously, that naturally will create a lot of pressure here and create zones that the Unicorns can't cross through in that middle lane. But what it results in is G2 having a lot more presence than they actually should do. They've been able to get some wards down. They've been able to at least keep track of the Unicorns a lot better here.
And I think it's so important to actually note that we're now 25 minutes in, and yes, it's a 3,000 gold lead, but that's not massive. 2 members of G2 are sent home as Vizicsacsi's verdict is nope. Not today. 2 more re-enter the fray. Javelin toss just short as Chachi's able to waddle his way out of it. The Yordle is staying alive in the face of 3 members of G2. Hybrid's pinned against the wall and the rest of Unicorns trying to get some vision. Take a look at Fox. He's pushed that wave all the way in to that top lane.
Loulex just cut the wave behind the rest of G2 as well, and it's Fox now gets the top tower. G2 are looking to push bottom tower. Loulex still in the middle lane, so they can't react.
Very clever adaptation. G2 punish, secure a tower because nobody from UOL came to defend quickly enough. I think it was a trade. Inner top for inner bottom. 1-to-1. As G2 will get their hands on the second tower, and very importantly, that damage over time. These little sieges, these little chips away, give them some advantages in the long run.
It is starting to erode the lead that the Unicorns have had, and actually G2 have done a good job of this. So this was the kill we actually just didn't see. Okay. Fairly straightforward. As Hylissang dies to Emperor in the middle lane, to be expected.
Yep.
He flashed earlier just to give him... He baited him into thinking he was always going to move away.
You can't monsoon the culling.
I thought that was going to rhyme.
You don't have to look so disappointed. I know.
I thought it was going to like be like a Daylor thing. Monsoon, don't monsoon, you lose your room. Something like that. That's a bit cruel.
That is, I think, one of my favorite things to come out of the spring split. All of the Daylor says quotes. Somebody has to make like a bunch of motivational posters and just print them out. You know, champion picture in the quote, or Daylor's face in the quote. Cosplay Daylor and fake quotes, for example. That was also pretty special. But Unicors of Love still committing to this 1-3-1. You can see Chachi down bottom with teleport. Fox is on the inhibitor turret, and G2 at risk of being surrounded. No, that's a Janna in the mid lane. That's not who you want to flank with. Hilly was just pulling the wave. Unfortunately, it didn't help. But look at this. It's trading inner turret for inhibitor turrets. This is getting weird.
Fox has done a lot of work on his own here in that top lane. Just been pushing. And it's because G2 have been committed on playing as a team, but haven't been able to keep anybody there to deal with Fox. All of the time, Kikis has been either with his team or looking for flanking opportunities.
And G2 have to be so careful to not disrespect the double teleports.
Yeah.
At any time, Chachi and Fox can join and engage. So if G2 are ever not as a 5-man unit, the likelihood of that double TP goes up significantly.
I think Loulex might be a bit chilly on stage.
Oh, really?
2 cloaks. 2
I see that.
Spectre's cowl.
Yep,
So
it's taking thrift shopping to a next level.
I've heard of popping tags, but not so much about popping like flashes, that kind of thing.
And the regards have been sent by Lord Dominic, picked up by Stellback. That's going to help him a little against Kikis, but it's still going to take such a long time for him to take down Kikis, who currently, without Powerball, has 280 armor. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
At this level, probably another 60 or 80 on top of that, I think, once he presses W.
So to speak about the 2 cowls, obviously he won't get the passive, the health generation after taking damage. He will, however, get the health, the MR. Obviously there's a lot of AP on G2. You look at the Azir, Nidalee, the return damage from Rammus. So there's enough.
Tremors counts too.
Yeah.
Banshee's Veil was completed by Kikis, so he's got some MR to help deal with Fox's Lissandra as well, and he's continuing to just farm up. It's been slow going, and Kikis is still about 12 or 1,300 gold down when compared to Vizicsacsi, but that's somewhat made up for with Perkz, who's got plus 30 CS over Fox.
Well, we're getting to fairly close to the late game now, and Azir with good farm, regardless of having 2 deaths.
3 completed items.
Void Staff, this is what you need on an Azir. You hit 1 soldier hit, and suddenly the rest of your team follows up on it. The damage is going to be insane.
Yeah, it will be, and it's going to be reliant on Perkz finding those sand soldiers. Loulex waiting in the wings, but it's Perkz who fires the trigger first. Flash Monsoon from Hylissang, he stays alive. I'm running out of words, it's happening so quick. A flash forward into the taunts, but Emperor is traded. Goes golden as Fox has taken down the AD carry. Keeper's verdict from Vizicsacsi will buy time. Perkz will get taken down as a pounce forward, as well as the swipe from Trick. A 1-for-2. Now Chachi's left alone in the between three members of G2 before Stellback jumps back in, but in a 3-on-1, Stellback almost manages to get taken down. Trick found the javelin. Perkz is forced to run away. It's a 2-for-2.
Oh, the spell shield did not block the spear at that point. Stellback, a little bit of a misread, or may have been something else connecting just before the spear that absorbed the spell shield. So G2 right now, I mean, from that trade, G2 at least didn't lose too much from that, but Unicorns will still be happy they're somewhat extending their lead.
No teleport for Kikis. Both teleports available for Unicorns of Love. The next few minutes are so crucial for G2 not to be caught surprised. This is how it started. A very aggressive move from Perkz.
And Loulex just couldn't get in on this. He didn't have a Q target to get himself in. Kikis came in from the backside, and this was Emperor and Fox going toe-to-toe. Emperor dying really before he gets too much more damage out onto Fox. So I want to see exactly what Stellback does with this spell shield here. If we can get some slowdown on the spear that comes through from Trick. It's about to hit. I just want to see exactly what it is that procs it. Ooh.
They caught it, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage though onto Stellback at the same time. Big burst. So a lot of things hit at the same time. Perkz was off at the side, had to get himself out of there.
Yeah, only the Vamp Scepter picked up very recently for Stellback. Emperor still no QSS, so he was instantly removed from that fight once Fox had flash engaged with the Tomb. And I think once that QSS gets picked up by Emperor, those sorts of engages become a little more scary, as Fox won't be able to completely trust in his ability to remove him from remove Emperor from the fight.
Yeah, that's a true statement. But you know, at this point, Fox has done so much in this game. Just pushing down the towers on the other side, he's been able to wave clear fairly effectively. The problem is, G2 just seem to be playing as if they're ahead the entire time. Look, Azir turret goes up in the mid lane. Fox pushing on the top side.
While Chachi's down bottom, remember those teleports are up and there's no inhibitor turret in the top lane. If Unicorns of Love can buy a time, Fox can do slow work on the inhibitor, but it will most likely fall. Boomerang Blade, Sonic Wave, all of a sudden G2 cannot recall.
And that's going to be an inhibitor going down for Fox.
G2 opted into this. They were pushing mid lane.
But can he push it in and TP out? He's going to have to burn it if he wants to get out.
Teleport.
Oh, no, he's not.
No, self-cast. Fox will be going down, taking time for the cost of Fox's life and his teleport. They get an inhibitor in the top lane. This is the Unicorns, and they managed to secure an inner turret down bottom. Unicorns lost a little bit of tempo, 45 seconds, where they're a man down.
Kikis just in the nick of time. Home guarding out from base. G2, they're committing to this Baron. They know they've got decent clear with the Azir. Here comes the TP. Fox is still down, 30 seconds, no TP.
It's so important to remember that Fox is going to take a long time to get in. It's secured by G2, but the impending fight breaks up. Loulex is down. Emperor's dashed over the wall, gets a full culling, turns his attention to Stellback, will dash away before Stellback trades his life. 1-for-1 in the AD carry bout, but 4 members of Unicorns have lost their lives in the last few minutes, and it is an ace that started with Fox in G2's base.
I was looking so good for the Unicorns, but the overcommit. I mean, Fox went for the turret, went for the inhibitor, he got it. The problem is, he was off the map for so long right there, and Chachi was split down in the bottom lane. The rest of the Unicorns had to somehow react to a Baron called very decisive out by G2. Is that the call that keeps G2 in the #1 position here at the end of the regular split?
If it results in them knocking over the Nexus, the answer will be yes. Super minions in the middle lane. Kikis' deal with supers up top. G2, in the first minute of their Baron power play, have accrued 4,000 gold more than the Unicorns of Love. To be fair, an ace is included in that, which helps. And here's a replay of that exact fight.
This was the replay, so it was all on Loulex trying to get in there. Couldn't get the smite timing down. It was Trick that secures that, and honestly, from here, it's the numbers advantage. It's the numbers game. Stellback once again tries to trade with Emperor, but Trick was there too. Second time in a row, Stellback, we've touted his good positioning time and time again, but that was the time for him to fall in that game. His only death so far, but it was not enough to clean up the fight for the Unicorns, and I feel like that's just turned the tide so much so that G2, with this Azir, with a very powerful Lucian, this could have just been that first nail in the coffin.
I think so too. You see how important it is for G2 to keep their carries alive for a prolonged period of time. Azir, given enough seconds, will deal the damage. And Emperor was not insta-gibbed because Fox was not there. The play that started it all was Vizicsacsi being pressured up top, and G2 are trying to play with that same strategy.
And Unicorns right now, without a mistake from G2, do not have a good engage tool. They're looking to enclose here, but they have no hard engage. Kikis recalling. He has teleport available. This could actually be Unicorns getting boxed in. TP's coming out.
Zoom is what Kikis is yelling. Power balls forward, finds Loulex, decides to hold the taunt. There's a gigantic minion wave pushing in to this inhibitor turret. Chachi has been dropped to about 50% HP, and Loulex is forced to run all the way to the middle lane. The bottom inhibitor will be falling, and despite G2 being behind for 32 minutes, in 3, they turn it all around, destroy UOL's base, and are now the ones in control.
All they've got to do is absorb the top lane, wait for the inhib to come back up. Their Baron buff is about to expire, and then they just get out on the map. They're trying to chase down G2, but Unicorns of Love do not have the speed to catch up.
Nope, they do not have the power ball at all. And Kikis, just the power, the strength of running in there. Dead man's plate as well. Gotta go fast indeed. Mercurial Scimitar completed for Emperor, so not only has he got the ability to remove that tomb, got some lifesteal to play with. The threats of G2 are completely capable of dealing with at least some of the threat, unless UOL find a perfect engage.
I mean, 2 inhibitors down. The problem is Chachi's now stuck in the bottom lane, trying to push the wave out, just hold back the minion swarm that is heading towards their base. Stellback's doing the same in the middle lane. There's nobody really to group. This tower is not worth fighting over for the Unicorns of Love, but they have to do something soon. They have to look for something
They
have to look for something as a last-ditch attempt. They cannot really just let G2 continue pushing in.
Defensive ward hop from Loulex.
The problem is, they're realistically from this angle, they shouldn't be able to get a good fight. In they go!
They do indeed.
Oh, the
Fox
taunt
is gone. The taunt was instantaneous, and with no tomb, Unicorns are not likely to win. Emperor's Divide sends UOL back to the base. G2 speed up the process. A boot back as Azir and Trundle are sent into Loulex's hand. Vizicsacsi donates G2 another kill. 4 members of the Unicorns of Love are down, waiting for the minions, and G2 are mere seconds away from a first-place seed.
The come-from-behind win, all based off that instinct Baron call from G2, and they have looked so much better in this last couple of minutes than they did the entire game.
G2 Esports knock over Nexus turret number 1, number 2, and will turn their attention to Chachi. Pad the stats, get the kills. Chachi's buying as much time as possible. The Nexus is dropping, and with it being killed, G2 Esports are the best team in Europe.